Hey, what up, guys? It's your boy TLTV checking in for a quick breakdown of Insecure Season 5, Episode 5. All right, so before this, I was going to do a quick breakdown dedicated specifically to Molly, but it kind of worked out perfectly because this episode is primarily about her anyway. Where do we start with Molly? Molly's character to me is so interesting because of what I feel she represents. Molly represents the modern woman to the fullest, in my opinion. When we look at her lifestyle, her dating choices, her priorities, it becomes clear that she faces a lot of the issues that today's quote unquote modern woman is faced with. You know, it's the balance of work, relationship, and family all rolled into one to try to fabricate what appears to be this perfect life when in all reality it's far from that. An interesting thing is that even in life we notice that whenever there's a death or whenever death seems to be in the near future, it makes us contemplate our own mortality, and we start to put things in perspective as far as our life and the way that we shaped it and fashioned it and the different priorities that we set into place. And we see when Issa and Molly are talking, and Molly says, you know, that her mom will never get to see her get married potentially or, you know, have grandchildren. Like, these are the things in life that are special and the things that make life worth living. Issa, doing her best to be a good friend, does what most women tend to do whenever they're talking to their other female friends. They give advice and they do their best to encourage them, but in all honesty, most times it's not what they really need to hear. They tend to tell them something that's going to make them feel better about the situation. They basically become enablers. The second conversation between Issa and Molly in the hospital is the perfect example of this. You know, Molly is having a somewhat come to Jesus moment. You know, she's starting to put things in perspective as far as, you know, her mother's situation and just what's important in life. And she starts to mention how her mother may potentially never see her get married or how she's never been able to give her grandchildren, even though she knows that's something that she wanted. And Issa stops her like, Molly, do you know who you are? Like, you've done so many great things. Like, you have a great job, you have a dope apartment, and a really smart dog. It is funny. And the irony of the situation is, oh yeah, shout out to Kevin Samuels, the Godfather, Buy a Dog and Die Alone. That's the track that she's truly on. I mean, at this rate, I could literally see her and Issa being permanent roommates, like just living in an apartment or a house together, the two of them with a bunch of pets, sipping wine every night, watching whatever TV shows that old people watch. But I digress. I don't want to get sidetracked, you know. So Molly responds by saying, yeah, you're right. You know, my dog is pretty smart. He even knows how to work the microwave. And I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like, you know, she really just does not get it. She may as well marry that damn dog because at the rate she's going, that's pretty much the only option that's going to be left. To be honest, Molly needs to be doing the same thing that Kelly is doing. You see how Kelly is having this moment of sobriety to try to focus herself and put things in perspective? That's exactly what Molly really should be doing, as opposed to rolling through her Rolodex of male tools, for lack of a better word. I mean, it's just so much that I could really say about Molly. I'll say this, I do like her character, I just do not like a lot of the decisions that she makes. But in hindsight, it's only fitting considering that she represents the modern woman and the decisions and choices that she makes. You know, I hate that this is the final season because there's no way that we can really see the full maturation of Molly's character within the next few episodes that are scheduled. But I have a question for you guys. Like, why do you think Molly is single? Like, what is it exactly? Like, I have an idea or an opinion, but I'm curious to see what you guys think, and I'll probably drop another video and give my opinion in that. But we got to talk about Issa for a minute because the episode wasn't totally about Molly. So we're here with Issa and Nathan, and now more than ever, I'm convinced that this relationship is not going to be long term, for lack of a better word. It's something about it that just doesn't really sit right with me. I can't quite put my finger on it just yet. But throughout the episode, it became. I think that they would be better as friends, for lack of a better word. And this is apparent, especially at the end of the episode, where we see Issa at the hospital, and as she's walking out, she sees Lawrence and Condola with their newborn baby. I'm assuming at the hospital for a checkup. And at that moment, we could clearly see that Issa and Lawrence are not done yet. I don't really know where that storyline goes or how it ends, but there are definitely still strong feelings there. So now what does that mean for Nathan? Now we know Issa is the queen of messy. Like she will get in some messy situations before you can blink, think, or even have an idea of what's going on. And I can pretty much see that's what's going to end up happening to Nathan. I just really hope that with his, current mental state and him being on his medication, that it doesn't really throw him off balance, because it's like they say, all's fair in love and war, and to the victor go the spoils. So, needless to say, it'll be interesting to see how the future relationship, I say future relationship, but it almost feels like there is a current relationship between Issa and Lawrence plays out, because I definitely know Issa is not going to end up settling down with Nathan. That's just way too much instability. She don't even know it. Like I said, I think they could be really good friends, but Lawrence probably wouldn't go for that in the future anyway. So, especially if he's aware of the fact that they were dating. Oh, and another random question for you guys. Like, I was just thinking, like, out of the friend group, who would you say has their life figured out the most? When we think of Issa and we think of Kelly and we think of Molly and what's their other homegirl name? Tiffany. Like, who do you think, like, overall is just in the best space right now in their life? I'm curious to see what you guys think. Oh yeah, and why do you think that is? Like, what factors contribute to them being the happiest or in the best mental space? And oh yeah, to backtrack for a minute and further point out Issa's messiness, right? So in this episode, Issa slick, low key, tells Nathan that she loves him. And but what I like about it is I like how Nathan responded like that was some real player shit. A lot of people probably ain't even catch it. Like, it can be a real awkward situation when somebody says I love you, especially if you don't have those same feelings at that particular moment, because you never really want to leave, someone out there just hanging, because that can ultimately make the situation a little bit more awkward than they even made the situation or whatever. And we know Issa is forever making some shit awkward or whatever. But yeah, she's on the bench and talking and was like, da 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 da, that's why I love you so much. And when he looks at her, and he did exactly what I was thinking. Like, if somebody did that to me and I really didn't want to say I love you back, yeah, the player move is to kiss them. Like, it's a win-win. Now, could that be a little misleading? Potentially. But at the same time, people react to the love bomb differently. But in hindsight, we can't even be mad at Nathan for responding or reacting the way that he did, because we clearly see Issa is telling him, she loves him. But I'd be damned if we didn't clearly see her looking at Lawrence like she was in love with him. Like, just straight throwback season one. She want to be on that old ass couch that they had together. But like I said, that's Issa being Issa, which is messy being messy. So initially, my thoughts have changed from when I first watched the episode. I felt like it was somewhat of a filler episode, but now I can see how it kind of sets up an exit for Nathan and Issa and a potential reintroduction of Issa and Lawrence. I'm curious to see who actually reaches out to who first, but I definitely know that there will be some contact in the future. So, yeah, matter of fact, you guys let me know in the comments, like, who do you think will make contact first between those two? I'd probably put my money on Lawrence, because he was looking a little conflicted too at the moment. Like, he wanted to dip out around the corner, like, hold up a sec, I'll be right back. But I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's TLTV. Checking out. You guys like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time. Hey, what up, guys? It's your boy TLTV checking in for